Hello, everybody. I'm Ricky with Maricopa Online Thrift and Maricopa Thrift Arizona, as well as the Salty Familia page. I wanted to make this video in response to Will and Cinnamon of Curious Collection. If you haven't followed this particular page and you're a reseller, you need to follow them. They give a lot of good tips on resale, a lot of update on numbers, and how do tips and tricks for eBay, which is awesome. So I did tag them on the description. Go ahead and give them a click, give them a follow. They're incredible. Anyways, so what they talked about is how does Facebook Marketplace work into your business if you're using Facebook Marketplace. Personally, my wife and I did use Facebook Marketplace at one point, but notice that we started our business 2013, 2014. Facebook was there, but Marketplace wasn't fully implemented yet. Our main source of our sales was Craigslist. Craigslist, I believe it's still on there, but I don't think anybody really uses it anymore because of all the scams that are going through. But prior to that, it was a good source of selling your items. It was a great source to resell. What other things that we were using were swap meets, flea markets, yard sales, but you can only do so many yard sales before somebody would say something, or it'll greatly bother the neighbors. Luckily, our neighbors were really cool. They were always looking forward to our yard sales, so we can't say how much we appreciate them. So it was pretty great at that time when we did have our yard sales. But going back to Marketplace, one of our customers from Craigslist, picked up something and says, "Hey, you have a really bunch of stuff, and it's pretty awesome. Why don't you sell on Facebook?" I'm like, "You can sell on Facebook?" He goes, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just go to this group, in your community, type in what you have, and then somebody will come pick it up. They'll message you." I'm like, "What?" So I did. I started posting a few items on Facebook, and people started picking up. I was kind of iffy on people picking up items because I had to give them my home address. They had to go to the house, but it was people within the community. At this point, we did not live in a rural area. We lived in Phoenix, in West Phoenix. People were pretty nice, pretty local, and they did become regulars. We did have a couple of that were not regulars, but it was safe. We made sure everything was during the daytime. We did have a few night pickups, but mainly that was because they rented out like a semi truck to pick up a statue that we sold, or they had a special shipment truck that came in to pick up something. Yeah, they actually did. And we were surprised. It was like, wow, a truck just for the statue? I guess it was going out of town or something, but more stuff like that will come through. I will tell you. But back to this Facebook Marketplace. Facebook Marketplace had such a huge impact, and we were doing really good. My wife brought it up to me and says, "Hey, we should do an auction on Facebook." I'm like, myself, I was scared because I was like, I don't know. You think we could do something like that? Uh, at that time, another friend of ours at that point opened an auction page, and they were doing okay. Things were going, but my wife saw, "Hey, we have so many people that already buy from us. Let's just go ahead and start it. Don't be a chicken." I'm like, okay, okay, so let's do it. So we did, and my wife is always right. My wife is like the center, and she's the brains, and she's always thinking of all of this stuff that we can do. I'm always the one that was like, oh, why am I double thinking it? Why am I being so chicken? I should just go ahead and go with it. And I did. We did the auction, and it turned out a success. Uh, we were starting the items a little bit high up there, and then all of a sudden, my wife again, she goes, "Hey, I have an idea. Why don't we start everything at $1?" again, I was scared. I'm like, oh my God, this thing's gonna sell for $1, or this other thing's gonna sell for $1, but it didn't. Um, Things were selling at great prices. We were getting rid of a lot of stuff, and again, I was like, man, I doubt myself too much. I wish I was more like my wife. My wife's a go-getter. My wife will say, "Hey, this is gonna work out," and it does. I'm gonna do this, and you do this. We're gonna do this. It works out. And my wife is always that person that's always, uh, thinking higher, and always going up there. And I love that. I love that about my wife, that she's always thinking of great things. And me, I'm always kind of like, oh, I don't know, and I shouldn't do that. Always listen to your wife, because they have the knowledge. They know what they're talking about. Anyway, back to this marketplace, our auction page, and it's still on Facebook. I just have it when you turn it off, because we moved to another area within Arizona. But marketplace, we did have our auction. Things were selling great. We had a pickup point where everybody picked up their stuff, at the end of the week. We did have pickup at our home at one point, which worked out just great. The only thing is, we had so many cars that would go to the house, and it looked kind of iffy, because we had our neighbors just kind of staring at them. Man, there's always cars there. What's going on? What are they doing? So that that was happening. But marketplace did do great, and then all of a sudden, um, the scams started. Um, I want to pick this item up, and they offered a good amount, and they would say, I'm going to give this check to my driver. That driver is going to pick up the item, give you the check, please cash it. There's a little extra for you, but please tip the driver. No. I still use Marketplace right now for a few items. For my biggest items, if I have like furniture, bedding, musical equipment, I do use Facebook Marketplace, but eBay is one of my main sources. I am gonna restart my auction page, which is on Facebook Marketplace, and see how that does, now that we are more established, and kind of go from there. But Facebook Marketplace can be a make it or break it. I do understand, like, some of the items that Will and Cinnamon do sell. Um, Maybe won't pick up on Facebook Marketplace. Maybe will. They will. I don't know. I've never sold like postcards, or pictures, or cruise ship photos and stuff like that. I never did. And Will's gonna be mad at me at this, because I've actually thrown away postcards that are marked 1945, 18 something. I didn't see if there was a value. I was just throwing them away. I was throwing them away. Pictures, old pictures. I was just tossing them. Come to think about it, it's something that sells. And I was telling my wife, hey, I still have a bunch of letters from, I believe it's like World War II, Vietnam era, from a person writing to another person. And I'm like, could they be worth something? I don't know. I do have a huge stack, something I'm going to look through. I'm going to make sure I don't toss them. But yeah, I did throw away a bunch of stuff, and I should have researched them a little bit more. But it's not something that I sell. I'm more into the collectible toys, collectible electronics, books, furniture, bigger stuff, because I do go out to flea markets and do that. But yeah, Facebook Marketplace is a make it or break it. Uh, it did work out for us for a good amount of time. Like I said, we were doing resale since 2013, 2014, and it went great. It went wonderful, and it still is. It's still something that continues, to sell, things that continue to sell. Facebook Marketplace, try it out if you're a reseller. See if it works for you. I know there's tons of groups out there that specialize, like in toys and all that stuff. I haven't had any success in the toy groups, but I see a lot of people do. But it's a lot of people there have their regular customers and they're selling great. They're doing fantastic. Wish I was doing like that with those pages, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good with what we're using right now. But you always have to have, like my wife said, your Easter egg basket. Put your eggs in the basket because you never know if something fails. You know, you have your basket with something else that's going to work out. Recently, the flea market that I was selling in shut down, so I was like, oh man, that's one of our eggs out of the Easter basket. Now I gotta move quick and find out where to plant my other egg. Luckily, I did receive a call from one of my regulars, and they said, hey, flea market closed on this side, but they reopened one, down the street. It's a little bit bigger. I'm like, oh, well, we're back in business. So put my egg back, and we're grateful. Be grateful to your regulars, because they pretty much put your business up there. You're good to your regulars, you're good to your customers, but you're going to have success in this business. And I don't want to continue on and on just rambling about other stuff. I just wanted to make sure I got the response out there. I will come back this week with another eBay horror story because we have tons, we have a lot. But as of right now, I just want to do this as a response to Will and Cinnamon. Just let them know, hey, yeah, for us, Marketplace worked. Hopefully, it works for somebody else, or if it's not part of their platform, you know, like I said, Easter eggs. You gotta put those Easter eggs everywhere. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I don't want to bore you guys too much. Again, my platform is mainly stuff that we do, family, everyday lives. We try to mix it up, but I do make sure when I post a video about resale, I make sure it's tagged for resale, and you guys can enjoy it. And maybe something happened to you. Maybe something amazing happened to you when you're reselling, or you found something that's worth a lot and you sold it. If you did, let me know. Put it in the comments and tell me what you found. So for right now, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I'll see you soon. Bye.